Page 60, The Entertainer. Treble and bass clef. We're still in the key of C major, although we have some accidentals here, so we're going to use a few of the black keys. 4/4 time signature, and we have a pickup measure. Have we had pickup measures before? I don't remember. The first measure just has 2 counts in it, and it needs to have 4. Well, if you look at the last measure of page 61, it's got 2 counts. So they take the last measure and cut it. And so we're coming in on beat 3 of the last measure, technically. It doesn't affect how we play it. I just want you to understand the theory behind this. Let's take this one hand at a time and make sure, because we're moving around here. Your nice, neat little 5-finger position's gradually going away. I mean, you'll get it sometimes still, but a lot of times, no. So whatever the music needs, that's what we got to do. So at the beginning, they say thumb here, and they want 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. A lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I have a habit, having played this forever, is I tend to do a 2, 3, 1. Just because I don't like doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all the time. So you do what you know. 1, 2, 1 is fine if you want to. Because that's an interval of a sixth. I don't know if I was supposed to tell you that or not, but it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that's tied. See, it's syncopated. It's syncopated. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Measure 4 during the rest, you come up. And they say second finger, that's fine, because we got a B coming up. So we want to be in this position, but because of the black key, we had to use thumb. Here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Because that E's tied. Then you come back down and do it again. On measure 11, you ended here. Measure 12, they want 3, 1, 2, 1. Use a fingering if you want. I just don't want to use the thumb quite that much. So what I'm going to do other than 3 is I'm going to use 4. 4, 3, 2, and thumb here. Can you go from here to here? Now they're asking you to anyway. So I'm using 3, 4. Instead of 3, 1, I'm doing that. To me, it's 3, 4, 2 is easier. 2, 1. Page 16, or measure 16, you get that. You're back to what you were doing. Measure 24. You're up here. They're just quarter notes, but some of them are tied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3. Then bring the thumb down and the whole hand here. And for the last chord, I suggest you stay here and just reach out to the octave and play the chord with 2 and 5. You see, there's another position for these chords, because we're just doing chords here, but there's another position on chords where you play the octave and still play the chord in between. So make it a 4-note chord, and when we do that, that's the fingering 4. And that's what these measures are at the end. Here and here, you're doing that, we're just not using the G. We don't have to use all the notes now, remember? So I suggest stay there and just reach up and 2 and 5. Now you have 2 beats rest. You got time to come up, but this will help you in other pieces if you can get the idea of this. Here. So I'm asking you to do 2 and 5 there. Left hand, let's see what we got going on here. It's here, and then here. That's a broken C chord, isn't it? You say it can't be a broken C chord, it's between different measures. Measures have nothing to do with it. The point is, those 2 measures, those whole notes, that whole thing is a C chord, and I'm not playing them all together, therefore it is a broken C chord. Here, and a broken 4 chord. Here. Measure 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's tied. So hang on to that one, and then back to what you were doing. Little finger again. Just bring the little finger up. Measure 24, you're here. 2, and during the rest, you come up here, thumb. 2, 3, B flat. 2, 3, 4. They want thumb again. 2, 3, third finger. 3, and thumb again. Ugh. Another fingering you can try here if you don't want to be using the thumb that much. It's good practice. It really is good practice. But we could also do this. You're starting out and measure 25 here, and then the thumb here. Now, from here, I'm going to use 2. I'm just going to stay in this position. Here. 3rd finger on the G, and then just stay here. Here until the last G. Then I'm going to scrunch up and use thumb. So I can use... So I changed hand positions one time once I got there. So it's here. Now I'm staying here for most of this. Then here. I don't like moving my hand around anymore than I have to, and that's one of the principles of the fingering style that I use and teach. I don't move my hand anymore than I have to. And so that's, you might have to use the awkward fingers a little more, but that's good for you. Oh. So put the hands together. You're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So play this and measure 4. See, they're not playing together. You have to watch this carefully. The last 2 measures of the first line. You're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And they don't play together. The measure 4, it's 1. And as you play that, you're coming up. 1. They play together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1. Come back down. Do it again. Okay. So there's syncopation here. It's honky-tonk music, ragtime music. And yeah, it's a lot of syncopation. This is our predecessor to jazz. The ragtime came along, only lasted about 20 years or so, and then jazz took over. It evolved into jazz is what it was, yeah. So you go through and put the hands together, then go back through it a few hundred times, get rid of the hesitations, and we'll think about the articulation. We have a statement reply here. The phrases. A phrase, remember, is a musical sentence. Well, the phrase, the first sentence is, and the next sentence is the reply to that. Then we have another statement, and the reply to that. Statement. You get the idea? Statement, reply, phrases. So you're going to lift up between the phrases. Of course, you kind of have to because they give you a rest. But you want to feel these phrases too. Now, when you get to measure 24, I'd pretty much connect all this. You can lift up if you want to. I tend to just connect it all together. Just connect. That's interpretation. It's up to you on that. And then at the end, the last note is a staccato and an accent. Now you get a few staccatos in the left hand. You can do this. Hands at the wrist and bounce off the keys. That's fine. Dynamics go to the melody. That's the right hand. Whatever you think moderately soft is. MP, mezzo piano. This left hand needs to be in the background. Come up to measure loud now, or moderately loud. Accented note then would be loud in the right hand. The left hand, play a little louder, but keep it in the background. Down, back. See, what he's done here is he's taken that statement, made it on the soft side, and the reply on the loud side. Normally it's the other way around. The statement would be louder and the reply would be soft. No, he wants this is moderately soft, the statement, and the reply is louder. Softer. Louder. See, he's done that backwards. But he can do what he wants. It's his piece. But just understand it's important that there's a difference between the loudness of your statement and your reply. Now, when you get to measure 20, you're back to loud again. Even you're staying here. You're going to stay fairly on the loud side from now on. And then measure 24, you're loud. In the right hand. And then make sure you get out the right. At the end, it could be both hands because there's no melody there. It's just a chord. Now that was a little fast, but I was trying to get the dynamics because when Scott Joplin wrote this, he put in as the speed, not fast. They say cheerfully, that's dangerous because people will play this way too fast. And that's not what he wanted. So he says not fast. You can be happy about it, just don't be so quick. And we're not talking about the beat here. We're talking about the overall feel of the piece. About interpreting. Interpretation has to do with the articulation and the dynamics and the speed and all that. So as far as the dynamics go, you could, different ways of doing this, take a look at measure 12. Going into measure 13, you're moderately loud here. The left hand gets these half notes. You could come up a little bit and then decrescendo, diminua. Because you're going to be soft. Or you can stay there. And all of a sudden drop down. There are different ways of interpreting it. You have to decide how you feel about it and experiment on the articulation. Maybe you want staccatos on a few things or disconnect them a little bit. I tend to do that anyway. For instance, measure 7 and 8 here. I tend to play those a little shorter. Well, that's interpreting the music. So it's I tend to bounce this along a little bit. I disconnect it. Sometimes you have to disconnect it. But I tend to bounce it along anyway. On this, it's just interpretation. It's how you feel it. Not a question of what's right and what's wrong. It's just how do you feel it. Let's play this together very slowly and double check the notes and rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'm doing all about the same. I'll do the staccatos, and I am going to separate this left hand a little bit. I'm going to kind of bounce along a little bit. So I'll give us 2 counts because we're coming on beat 3. I'm just go ready, go, and then we go. So be ready to go. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2.